What if I told you WWE didn't delay one of its biggest premium live events because of creative, but because of a corporate battle happening behind closed doors? For the first time in years, Money in the Bank has been ripped out of its traditional summer spot and pushed all the way to October. On the surface, WWE called it a scheduling change, but Backstage reports tell a completely different story. A story involving broadcast partners, television revenue, internal creative frustration, and a decision that could permanently change one of WWE's most iconic match concepts. Even more surprising, many fans believe this unexpected delay may have handed Triple H the perfect opportunity to reshape Money in the Bank exactly the way he's always wanted. So what really forced WWE to move one of its biggest events? Was this purely a network decision, or is something much bigger happening behind the scenes? Let's break down everything we know. For well over a decade, Money in the Bank has been one of WWE's most reliable attractions. Its place on the calendar wasn't accidental. Held during the summer, the event created months of uncertainty heading into SummerSlam and beyond. Whoever climbed the ladder and captured the briefcase instantly became the biggest wildcard in WWE. Every championship match suddenly carried another layer of suspense. Every celebration could be interrupted. Every champion had to look over their shoulder. That uncertainty became one of WWE's strongest storytelling tools. So when WWE officially announced on June 8, 2026, that Money in the Bank would no longer take place during the summer and would instead be held on October 10th inside the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans, the wrestling world was caught completely off guard. At first glance, it seemed like an unusual scheduling decision. But according to Fightful Select, the real reason had nothing to do with storylines. It came from outside the wrestling business. Fightful Select reported, quote, WWE sources claimed to Fightful Select that the Money in the Bank date change was made because of a scheduling matter with broadcast partners. The move has been planned for well over a month and known by several within the company. End quote. That single report changed the entire conversation. Instead of asking why WWE wanted a different date, people started asking, who made the decision? The answer appears to be a combination of corporate priorities and broadcast realities. Months before fans ever heard about the change, WWE executives were already planning their 2026 premium live event calendar. Originally, Money in the Bank was expected to anchor the company's late summer schedule in New Orleans. Everything seemed to be falling into place. Then, the network stepped in. According to Backstage reports, broadcast partners warned WWE about significant scheduling conflicts with major sports programming during the late summer and early fall. A premium live event of this magnitude risks competing directly against high-profile television broadcasts, potentially affecting viewership numbers across multiple platforms. For a company now operating under the TKO banner, television performance isn't just important. WWE reportedly responded by quietly moving its internal target date to September 6th. Problem solved. Or so they thought. As discussions continued, executives realized September created another set of conflicts with major fall programming blocks. The compromise simply wasn't enough. So the company made an even more dramatic decision. On June 8th, WWE officially announced that Money in the Bank would instead take place on Saturday, October 10th. The announcement was presented as a joint effort between WWE, the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation, and Legends Global, emphasizing the company's continued commitment to bringing major events to Louisiana. On television and in official promotional material, WWE stated, quote, WWE, in conjunction with the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation, announced that Money in the Bank will now take place on Saturday, October 10th. On the surface, it sounded like a celebration. Behind the scenes, many viewed it differently. The event itself had become part of a much larger corporate strategy. Following WrestleMania's departure from New Orleans, Money in the Bank reportedly became a valuable bargaining piece, a way to maintain WWE's relationship with the city while satisfying local partners and preserving future opportunities. But while executives focused on business, creative suddenly had a completely different problem. Because moving one premium live event doesn't simply change a date, it changes months of storytelling. For years, WWE's writing team could rely on one constant throughout the summer: the Money in the Bank briefcase. It wasn't just a prop, it was a storytelling safety net. No matter what happened during a championship rivalry, there was always the looming possibility that the briefcase holder could appear at any moment. That threat created instant drama. A champion could survive a brutal title defense only to be attacked seconds later. A rivalry could end only for a completely different superstar to steal the spotlight. The briefcase gave creative flexibility unlike almost anything else in wrestling. Without it, the entire structure of WWE's summer programming changes. According to internal leaks covering the weeks following the announcement, members of the creative team were frustrated by exactly that issue. Moving Money in the Bank to October removed the company's biggest wildcard from the summer calendar. Instead of having months of unpredictable cash-in teases leading into SummerSlam, writers suddenly had to build compelling television without their most reliable source of suspense. The delay also created another unexpected consequence. The eventual winners would now have significantly less time to develop meaningful stories before WWE shifts into its annual Road to WrestleMania season. Traditionally, a summer winner could carry the briefcase for months, allowing tension to slowly build throughout the fall and winter. An October winner doesn't have that luxury. The runway is dramatically shorter. And that's where another fascinating theory
While the delay may have
begins to
started
emerge.
as a corporate necessity, some fans believe Triple H isn't exactly disappointed by the outcome. In fact, many believe it aligns perfectly with the way he's booked Money in the Bank ever since taking over creative. Across wrestling communities, including widespread discussions online, a growing number of fans have noticed a pattern. Triple H has never appeared particularly enthusiastic about the traditional carry the briefcase for a year formula. Instead, his booking history suggests something very different. In 2022, Austin Theory's briefcase journey ended in one of the most controversial cash-ins in modern WWE history. Rather than using it to capture a world championship, Theory unsuccessfully cashed in for a mid-card title, an outcome that many fans felt diminished the prestige of the contract itself. The following year, Damian Priest spent months carrying the briefcase, but much of that reign became increasingly defensive, with the focus often shifting away from the excitement that originally defined the concept. Then came 2024. Drew McIntyre captured the contract, only to lose its value in a single night. For many observers, these weren't isolated booking decisions. They reflected a larger philosophy, one that views prolonged briefcase storylines as more restrictive than exciting. If that interpretation is correct, then the October delay may actually support Triple H's preferred vision. Instead of allowing a superstar to walk around with the contract for 9 or 10 months, WWE can create faster, more targeted cash-ins that directly serve specific championship stories. The briefcase becomes an explosive plot device, not a year-long accessory. That possibility has sparked intense debate throughout the wrestling community. Some fans believe shorter cash-in windows will make every appearance feel more urgent and less predictable. Others argue that reducing the lifespan of the contract takes away one of WWE's greatest long-term storytelling tools. Either way, the psychology surrounding Money in the Bank has fundamentally changed, and that creates yet another challenge. If the briefcase is no longer driving WWE's summer programming, something else has to. That responsibility now falls squarely on the king and queen of the ring tournaments. Without the constant uncertainty of a looming Money in the Bank cash-in, those tournaments suddenly become far more important than they were originally intended to be. Their winners must now carry the momentum that Money in the Bank traditionally provided, serving as the primary vehicles for World Championship stories throughout the late summer. That's an enormous amount of pressure, not only on the competitors, but on WWE's writers as well. As of today, July 4th, 2026, WWE's marketing machine is already working overtime to explain the calendar change ahead of ticket pre-sales on July 9th and general ticket sales beginning July 10th. Publicly, the company is promoting a historic October event in New Orleans. Privately, according to multiple reports, the decision had been in motion for more than a month, driven by broadcast negotiations and long-term business strategy. Whether fans realize it or not, this isn't just a delayed premium live event. It's a glimpse into how modern WWE now operates. Television revenue, corporate partnerships, market strategy, creative philosophy, all competing behind the scenes to shape what fans eventually see on screen. And perhaps that's the biggest story of all. Money in the Bank wasn't delayed because WWE wanted to change the calendar. It was delayed because in today's WWE, business decisions and creative direction are becoming more connected than ever before. And if this new October model succeeds, it may permanently change one of WWE's most iconic events for years to come.